Welcome back, everyone. Well, just when you think you've seen everything in Saratoga County, all of a sudden you find out that a native Saratogian, born and raised here, is an actor, Pantelis Kotogiannis. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good
Hello,
afternoon.
everyone.
All right, I don't even know where to start with this one because we're going to talk about a film, and then we're going to talk about the film premiering here in Saratoga. The name of the film is called The First Line. And the plot and the story, taken out of history, is so compelling that I'm going to ask you to sort of give us the overview of this film.
Okay.
First Line.
The First Line is about two Athenian lawyers that sue the British Museum seeking the return of the Parthenon marbles. And for audience members that are not aware, in 1801, the British ambassador to the Ottoman Empire, by surreptitious means, acquired the permission to go up to the Acropolis, which is the holiest site in Athens from antiquity, and go to the Parthenon, which is the most sacred structure on the Acropolis, and began removing a lot of the sculptural elements of the building and some of the architectural elements of the building. So between 1801 and roughly 1803-4, he was able to remove 247 feet of the frieze, 21 larger than life-size figures from the east and west pediments, and 19 metopes. In addition to 2.5 columns and various other fragments that some people are not aware where they actually fit, because they are now currently housed, all of his collection, that's what it's called, is currently housed in the British Museum in London.
And that's called the Elgin. Yeah?
Yes, they're called the Elgin marbles by some people, but some people, such as myself, call them the Parthenon marbles, because calling them the Elgin marbles kind of supposes that they're his.
Yeah, there's some legality involved here, where he actually got these by proper means, right?
Exactly, and they're actually the marbles of the Parthenon, and don't belong to any one person, if you will.
One other little piece of history here. He was quite a character, of course, and wanted to acquire these things for a garden in Scotland.
Yes, for his estate in Scotland.
Yeah, okay, so you're thinking to yourself, what gives someone the kind of hubris to think that they can just go raid antiquity like this and move it to their garden in Scotland? So, however, that's not what the film is about. He ran into debt problems, had to sell to the British government. The government then put it in the British Museum.
That is correct. In 1816, by Act of Parliament, the British government acquired these artifacts and bestowed them to the British Museum for safekeeping.
Now, this film is a story of the lawyer who decides to take on the British government and see if they're able to get these artifacts back
Absolutely.
to Greece, right? He's particularly skilled because not only is he an actor, but he's a lawyer. So how did you find out about this role?
I went on an audition in Los Angeles, and they were seeking, the person in charge of that casting was seeking Greek speakers. And it was sent out, and I went to the casting call, and I met the director of the project, and we hit it off immediately, and we started talking about this very topic. And roughly 2.5 years later, he sent me the script for this film, and asked me to work with him again, and it was a dream come true. It's
life-changing at that point, right? You're thinking to yourself, you like acting, and before we went on camera, he was telling me that, he loved acting, and a graduate of Spa Catholic, and followed acting for a while, then decided to get involved in law, and then there's always that struggle, right? Between,
Absolutely.
I would love to express myself by being an actor, but I also need to make a living, and you try to balance the two. We all do that, right?
Absolutely.
Well, you just happen, it's an Uber decision for you. That's what happened here. So then you found out, like a year later or so, that you were going to be cast.
I did. It was, again, a life-changing experience, and it didn't
Sure.
come true because I get the call, and they tell me, I'm going to go to Athens. I'm
Oh
going to
my
be
God.
in a movie that is the 5th movie ever shot on the Acropolis and at the Parthenon. The first movie to ever be shot at the Acropolis Museum, and one of a few that's ever been shot in the original Olympic Stadium in Athens.
I can't believe it. And when you went to London to actually film in the High Court.
Oh, yes, we shot in one of the high courts, and that too was an incredible experience. Shooting in London was very different than Athens. You know, the light, the weather, so many things are so different, but they were both wonderful experiences, as was shooting in New York.
It's a pretty interesting cast, too.
It-
Who else is in the cast?
It is, Giancarlo Giannini is in the cast, and it was wonderful to work with him. Paul Freeman is in it.
Oh, my God.
Mr. Byrne is in it, and then some Yorgos Voyagis. He's a Greek-Italian actor. His daughter Cassandra, and George Chorafas, a French-Greek actor. And it was an amazing cast. There are others as well, but those are the primary roles.
Giancarlo?
Giancarlo, yeah.
Giancarlo. Some of you might know from a James Bond film, Casino Royale. But you know what? Way beyond that, he is such an in-depth actor. What was it like working with him?
It was intimidating at first,
I
I'll
bet.
be quite honest.
Sure.
What was amazing to me was when he first met me, he said, "So I hear you're a lawyer." And I
It sounds like him,
said,
doesn't it?
and I said, "Uh-oh, this is not going to
Yes,
start
that's
out
right.
good," right? And I said, "Yes, I am a licensed attorney, and I practiced for several years in New York, and now I'm pursuing my passion." And he said, "I think that's wonderful. Before I became an actor, I was an engineer, and I have a couple of patents in my name. So good for you for being multidimensional."
Unbelievable.
So at that moment when I said, "Okay," he kind of turned it around, and then he started laughing. So it was wonderful to work with him.
That's amazing. Now, this film is going to premiere at Bowtie Cinema coming up on the 29th, which is a Thursday of October, and there's a reason for it. It's going to be a fundraiser for two organizations in Saratoga that are very deserving of this. The Shelters of Saratoga and COISA, which is a holistic wellness center. We've had both Shelters of Saratoga and COISA on Look TV. They're both organizations that need to raise funds, and that premiere is sort of a pre-premiere, right? Because the official premiere is going to be in London.
That is correct. In London, it hasn't been scheduled yet, but they're aiming for the end of November or early December. So this is a pre-screening done for my hometown and for these two great causes. And what's interesting is that the theme of the evening is home. So a return home for the Parthenon marbles. And then finding or attaining a home for COISA. The COISA group currently doesn't have an official home. They're
right.
trying to find a home to pursue their mission, which is a wonderful mission. And then providing a home for the homeless in Saratoga, which is what Shelters of Saratoga does.
Right.
So, in a fourth way, it's also, the screening in my hometown.
Yes, that's right.
Which is, it's going to be a great event. So I hope we get a lot of support from the community and that people can come out and enjoy a night at the movies.
Boy, okay, so it's October the 29th. It's a Thursday. Bowtie, I think it's 6:30, right? Oh,
5:30 for
right.
the VIP event before the 7 o'clock. 6:30 there'll be some wine and a bar and cocktails, and then 7 o'clock is when the screening will begin.
And we're not going to tell you how the film ends, but I watched some of it. It is a very powerful film. You're an amazing actor. I'm telling you,
Thank you.
nailed that role. Like I can't believe it was such a natural for you, and obviously life-changing for you as well. Right?
Absolutely, yes.
Well, Pintel, it's a real pleasure to have you in here,
Thank you for inviting me.
and we'll see you on the 29th. at
I
Bowtie
look forward to
Cinema.
seeing everyone. Thank you.
Good, you're welcome. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.